Hey guys, Tony here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to share with you my thoughts about the vehicles I got to look at and drive yesterday in Austin, Texas at the Circuit of Americas during Mullen's strikingly different tour. This was their first stop, and although I don't regularly cover Mullen, and I've said for 2 years that I do not recommend buying Mullen because they have no revenue, I thought I'd take the chance to visit them while they were here. I also picked up a $35 hat because I like to collect hats. And being that I'm not a stockholder of Mullen, I'm neither a fan or a hater of Mullen. I just look at the financials and I see what I see, no revenue. I don't recommend Mullen stock, but I do want to give you an unbiased viewpoint on my thoughts about the vehicles. Let's get right into it. In this video, I'm not going to talk about the upcoming delisting concerns with Mullen. I know the price is sitting at about 46, 47 cents today. I'm not going to talk about David Michery and his performance bonuses. I'm not going to talk about anything related to the financials. I have provided previous content on that, and I would urge you to go look on my channel for my thoughts on Mullen's financials, if that is what you're interested in. In this video, we're going to talk about the vehicles and my impressions having driven each one of them now. While I was at the event, I got to see and test drive the Mullen One, the small electric van in their fleet. I got to see and drive the Mullen 3, the light duty industrial truck. And I got to see and do a ride along on the racetrack on the Mullen 5. This is the video that you're watching right now. It's about a 4 or 5 minute drive. And I was really hoping to get to do a ride along in the Mullen 5 RS. It was advertised as being available for a ride along at this event. However, at the Austin event, they said there was a software glitch and it was just sitting there for static display only. So that is what it is. That was disappointing, but we will find out from people at the subsequent stops on this EV tour if they were able to ride that vehicle or if this was another false advertisement from Mullen. Stay tuned for updates on that. Let's talk now about the ride along that is happening right now in the Mullen 5 vehicle. Now, I'm more of a diesel truck 4x4 guy. I am not big into EV vehicles, so I don't have a lot of experience to base this evaluation on. I'm just telling you, walking up, getting in the vehicle, the fit and function was good, and the performance of the vehicle was very, very good. It was an exhilarating ride, I'm not gonna lie. Between the vehicle, the power, the fast acceleration, being on the racetrack, the hairpin turns, going through the cones on the straightaway, this vehicle exceeded my expectations. I'm not going to lie, it exceeded my expectations. Mullen chose to go down the route of getting into vans and trucks first. I get it. The EV car vehicle space is very crowded and very competitive right now, but it is disappointing to hear that they pushed the Mullen 5 out several more years to 2025. It performed really, really well. And I think that if you like EV vehicles in a 4-door size like the Mullen 5, this one could be a contender. The question is, can Mullen make it until 2025? The next vehicle that I got to try out was the Mullen One, their electric van. This is a small frame van. If you're used to larger vans like a Ford or a Chevy, this one is going to appear smaller when you walk up to it, but it is electric, so I guess compromises need to be made. I do know that this van is imported from China and Mullen upfits it with whatever technology they add in before they ship it out to the dealer. I got to drive this vehicle for several miles around the facility, not actually on the track. It performed very well. It was comfortable, very, very good acceleration. I guess my final observation on this van as we open up the back trunk and look at the cargo space is it might be a little smaller than a large van, but there are certainly plenty of work trucks in this size, and it could be a very good competitor for certain commercial businesses. As I understand it, the campus van is currently being sold. That one can only be driven on private property. Once the street-ready Mullen One is available to customers, one that can be driven on any road, I think that that vehicle could be a decent competitor in the market for this type of vehicle. Next, I got to drive the Mullen 3, and here with the Mullen One parked behind it, you can really see how small the Mullen One looks in comparison. The black box mounted there on the back of the Mullen 3 with some weights they had for ballast. If you've been in a commercial vehicle, you probably know that They get a little bouncy if you don't have some weight on the back. The interior was very basic, as you would expect from a work truck. This vehicle chassis is also imported from China, with Mullen doing a little bit of upfit work in their final assembly process. As far as driving the vehicle, it performed well. It had really strong acceleration, and it was a little bit bouncy because of the lack of weight in the back. The most striking thing of both the van and the truck is that if you're used to being around commercial vehicles, you have no sound. You've got no diesel engine or no gasoline engine making a lot of racket. Very, very quiet vehicles other than the air conditioner. And my final thought on the Mullen 3 is that the visibility from the driver's seat to the road is excellent, making this vehicle an excellent choice for inner city driving. The Bollinger 2 pickup truck was on display here. It did not look to be operational based on my quick peek underneath the vehicle. It's a pretty tough looking utilitarian vehicle for someone who wants a badass looking black truck. I don't think this vehicle is slated to be available to the public until 2025 at the soonest. It'll be interesting to see if Mullen, or whatever iteration Mullen becomes, is around to deliver this vehicle to the market. It's pretty tough looking, I'm not gonna lie. I like the look of this truck. As I mentioned at the beginning, the Mullen 5RS was a static display only. As others have observed, the interior is very rough. I'm not gonna fault them on that. I've been in the manufacturing environment 15 years of my corporate life, done a lot of prototype builds myself, not in the automotive industry, but prototypes often look rough, guys. The most disappointing thing to me, and the only question I have is this thing even drivable? We will find out as we get more information from people further down this EV tour. As far as the vehicles from Mullen go that were on display, I was more impressed than I expected to be. As far as an investment, I would say, guys, be careful who you listen to. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. Drop me comments below and make sure that they're not minimizing the lack of revenue or the fact that the revenue is not covering expenses. That is what I'm going to be looking for if Mullen survives into future quarters. I am Tony Denaro. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.